And we're live, Mr. Robinson.
Go ahead and start. Good to go? Okay.
Good to go.
Welcome, everybody. I would say in the typical, it's nice to see familiar faces, but I don't see. But hopefully, it's been a long time since we all have gotten together as a group. So good afternoon. On behalf of the Education Committee and the Development Committee of the ACIC, Patty Boss and I would like to formally welcome you to the ACIC 2020 Forum. Unfortunately, Patty is experiencing some technical difficulties, so she will join us in a little bit. On behalf of us, we're beyond excited to have the forum and interact with so many friends and colleagues. As many of you may know, prior to the cancellation of the spring forum, we had a musical theme with songs across generations. To quote the Grateful Dead, we think it's fair to say that 2020 has indeed been a long and strange trip. That being said, we look forward to the next 2 days of panels and presentations. They're confident will be educational and relevant to your practice. As you'll surely note, the conference will have a few changes from the prior iterations. Among them, there's a reduced number of sessions from the traditional 9 to 6. Unfortunately, there is no separate lunch. Keeping with the theme of 2020, we're all socially distanced. And for many, absent a trip to the restroom in your home, no travel will be required. Although the ACIC was founded in 1981, this forum will, in legal parlance, be a case of first impression, as this is the inaugural virtual ACIC forum. We're excited to participate in this conference. We do, however, ask that you're patient, your patience to the extent we encounter any technical difficulties, which I'm encountering as we speak. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, my screen is freezing. Pardon me very quickly. Sorry. Apologies for that. Now I am unfrozen. So on that note, we obviously ask your patience to encounter technical difficulties. We hope everything will operate without a hitch, but if 2020 has taught us anything, to be prepared to expect the unexpected. Before we proceed with a number of the particulars for the conference, we'd be remiss if we didn't extend our thanks to several people and groups who have contributed directly or indirectly to the conference. First, on behalf of the Education Committee, the Board of Trustees, the members of the ACIC, we extend our sincere gratitude to all the panelists and moderators who worked on the curriculum for the Spring Forum, but whose presentations were not included at this time. As you know, due to a desire to cover current topics and give fewer sessions overall, not all panels originally scheduled for the Spring Forum were carried forward. We want to recognize the efforts of the panelists and moderators. Your work is appreciated, and we hope these panels will be included as part of the curriculum in a future conference. Second, we'd like to thank each of our participating panelists and moderators. We greatly appreciate the contribution of your time and talent in making this conference what we hope to be and are assured a success. We're excited to hear each of your presentation and confident that they will be interesting, relevant, and informative. Third, we'd like to thank all those responsible for the technology to make this virtual conference happen. Your efforts to make the conference viable have been instrumental. Fourth, we would like to thank the Education Committee and the Development Committee of the ACIC, and in particular, we'd like to recognize the efforts of CJ Marchain, Caitlin Watson, Carol Wilbur, as well as Chris Dallas and Tina Smith. Without your participation in weekly meetings, feedback, and efforts to pull all of this together, this conference would not be possible. We would particularly like to thank CJ for guiding us throughout this process, keeping us on task and on time. Lastly, we'd like to thank each of you viewing and participating in this conference. There's significant enrollment for this conference, and it's a testament to the commitment and involvement of the ACIC membership. Without further ado, I'd like to provide some necessary background information relating to the conference. Unlike most of the airline industry, we're hopeful to run on schedule as much as possible. In that regard, we ask you to pay particular attention to the agenda and the starting and end times for each session. Compared to prior conferences, the timeframes are compressed. Despite the compression, we fully intend and expect to stop and start each panel as scheduled. As you know, the schedule includes several breaks, but we would ask you to please return from each promptly. For moderators and panelists, to ensure a timely transition from one panel to the next, provide time to address any technological issues, we'd request that you enter your green room at least 5 minutes before the scheduled start time of your panel. In addition, for moderators, we request that you pay particular attention to the running time for your panel. As you know, the timer is located in the upper left hand of the screen. Please be cognizant of the time because unlike prior conferences, each particular session will be shut off after the timer gets to 0 and the audience will no longer be able to view your panel. While not being able to see or hear me may be viewed as a net positive in many circles, I expect that would not be good for you as most people be interested and engaged in what you have to say. All presentation material, in terms of materials and forms, all presentation materials and documents are posted online, can be found on the ACIC website under the Events CLE link. You can click through the upcoming Events CLE, then the 2020 Virtual Fall Annual Meeting and Education Conference. Find links to the presentation materials and documents at the bottom of the web page. Alternatively, the materials and documents can be found for each session within the Attendify app. In addition, CLE forms can be found for each session within the Attendify app. Please note that CLE forms must be submitted to office@aciclaw.org no later than Monday, October 19th. 2 session codes will be read by each moderator during the session. These codes will not be repeated during the session, so you must be paying attention as you will not receive credit without the codes. In addition, we're looking forward to tonight's virtual wine tasting, which will give us an opportunity to also see and speak to one another. If anyone is interested in attending the event and you haven't signed up, you can do so, sans the wine, as we'll be in breakout sessions after the actual wine tasting. If you're interested, please email Caitlin as soon as possible at caitlin@madcrouch.com so you can get added to the breakout room. In terms of the recording, so everybody's aware, the sessions will be available by recording for 3 months after the conference. For rules regarding the recorded presentations, please see page 5 of the agenda. As to questions, please direct all questions you may have with respect to the conference to CJ, Caitlin, or Carol. They'll be able to answer any questions you may have. You can message them via office@aciclaw.org or via the Attendify app. Speaking of the Attendify app, as in prior conference, this will be utilized throughout. It includes all relevant information for the conference. Although we expect many of you have the app downloaded to your phone, iPad, or computer, to the extent you have not done so, we would request that you please do so. Since the prior conference, there's been upgrades and changes to the features of the app, which make it more user-friendly. To describe some of these features, I'm going to turn it over to CJ.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen right now. So give me 2 seconds. Okay, so hi, everyone. As you all know, or most of you know, I'm CJ Marchane, and I'm the Executive Director here at the college. Thank you all for joining us. This is normally the time I would tell you how to download the app, but you're already watching me on it, so I can skip that. What I am going to say is, Mike already said, if you have any questions during any of the presentations, you can contact us at office@aciclaw.org, or you can message us. And you can search for admin on the app, or you can also search in the community for admin and send us a private message. If your app still says people, you have the old version of the app and your app needs to be updated. It should say community. If you have a question during any of the panels, go directly to the session. Click on the session and you'll see the session chat. This is also where you'll post questions for the moderator. On the mobile version, it'll say session chat where it's highlighted. And on the desktop version, it's that little square next to the people. If there is a malfunction on our end or on your end, please do not panic. All of the sessions, as Mike said, are being recorded and will be available on the Attendify app until January 15th, 2021. That's 3 months from tomorrow. If something happens during the session, we'll record it and post it later, so do not worry about getting your CLE credits. All of the affirmations and evaluations are posted in each session on the Attendify app. So during the annual fall meeting, we highly encourage you to use the app, not just reviewing the sessions. So in order to encourage you to use it more, we'll be giving away prizes. So this is how it'll work. You'll get 1 point for liking a post, 2 points for receiving a comment or a like, 3 points for posting a message, 4 points for posting a photo, and most importantly, 10 points for using it for a poll. And most of the panels will have poll questions. So when prompted by the panel, you will go into the session and answer the poll. So we'll be posting the leaderboard throughout the conference for those of you that like friendly competition, and the prizes will be mailed at the end of the conference on Thursday afternoon. So what will those prizes be? Third place will receive a $50 Amazon gift card. The runner-up will receive a Lamy Safari Rollerball Pen and Castelli Italian notebook, and the winner will receive Apple AirPods. So after the conference, we will be emailing out a very, very brief survey. So please take the time to fill this out because this is our first go at this. So please take the time. We worked very, very hard on this conference, and we would love to have your feedback. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask myself or my colleague and my right hand here at the college, Caitlin Watson, Caitlin@madcrouch.com or CJ@madcrouch.com. And with that, I will turn it back over to Patty and Mike.
So I was having technological issues myself, so I had to do a little switcheroo at the last second. But I will wrap up by saying that, as Lou Holt said, you can guess that my partner, Mike Robson, said that, not me. Never tell people your problem. 90% of the people don't care, and the other 10% are glad you have them. So accordingly, the forum won't be a discussion on any problems facing the legal industry, but the challenges that we face. This is an unprecedented time. As we all know, new issues are rising daily. The pandemic has forced each of us different ways and challenges our traditional approaches to work. So unlike prior conferences where separate theme, as you know, there's not any particular theme for this forum, but we have tried to attempt to address relevant and timely issues that are in today's workplace. These include, among other things, the ethical challenges that we're all dealing with in working remotely, developments with the SVO, market developments, the need to move forward in developing a diverse workforce. Despite the lack of a formal theme, we do expect one common denominator that you'll find with each of the presentations is that we do face an ever-changing landscape in our profession. So whether we're adjusting from an in-person work environment to working remotely, or to fluctuating market dynamics or newly emerging transaction structures, or an ever-changing workforce, being able to adjust and respond quickly has become increasingly important in our profession. We believe we've handled these challenges well, but as Bob Dylan said, the times are changing. With that, we as a profession need to evolve with the times in order to provide the best counsel and guidance to our clients. And in that vein, we hope and trust that these presentations will help provide you with some new tools to adapt to this ever-changing environment. So with that, I would ask Mike to introduce our first panel.
Yes, I'm going to leave this session and then transition over to the first panel and make an introduction there shortly. So look forward to seeing everybody in the first panel, and we'll kick this conference off. Thank you.
Thank you.